Okay, so first of all, sorry for the absolutely potato quality. I'm using my laptop's camera, which is not all that good. Kind of tells you something about the state of technology when you pay almost $2,000 for something and they can't even put in. I'm guessing that's probably a 2 or 4 megapixel sensor. Would have been extremely cheap for them to put in, like an 8 or God help us, maybe even like a 12. But anyways, yeah, so just making this video because I recently moved into college and I am at university for all you Europeans, and just trying to give my first impressions on everything. So yeah, so this is my dorm room. Very cozy, but very yeah. I mean it's a very homely space. It's or home-y, not homely. I mean it's not. Numbers speaking, it's not that big of a space. I think it's like 12 by 15 feet is the footprint, but it's still plenty of space for me and my roommate. I mean, you can see that's his bed. He has his bed lofted, and my bed's to the right. You can't see it with the camera, but yeah, there's plenty of space, and I think that we have a fairly good amount of stuff in our room. I don't know if you can see me. I have my Tonka right there, and so yeah, we have a fair amount of stuff in here, but it doesn't really feel claustrophobic. In fact, if anything, it feels kind of comforting because back in my room at home, well, in both my rooms, at my dad's and my mom's house, I had a good sized room. I mean, it wasn't like a master bedroom or anything. I mean, definitely bigger than this room, but I've never really needed a lot of space, and so I don't know. It's just been really nice to have this because when I moved, I was sort of able to take. Oh yeah, and I don't know if you saw that. There are like these little dust specks, dust motes of dust floating through the air. So yeah, just ignore them. Yeah. So, but it's been really nice because when I moved out, I had to consolidate all of my stuff, and then I only took the necessities. But it was really good for two reasons. The first of which being that I was able for the first time in literally a decade to go through all of my stuff, sort of purge and cleanse, pick out all the stuff that was from, when I was 5 years old and I don't need. Just a ton of stuff. Clothes, games, movies, books, all donated to the GCF, the Goodwill Community Foundation. And yeah, so that was really nice because one, it helped me to alleviate a lot of stress from the moving process. It helped me just cleanse a lot. Because getting rid of stuff it's a very cathartic experience because you're able to. It's really like clearing out emotional baggage as well because you know that you don't have all this stuff here, there, and everywhere, just collecting dust, and you're really able to get a sense of okay, this is what I have. So and then it was also really nice to give back to the community because I use the Goodwill a lot, and it was really nice to hold on. Here's my little pal. Oh, Jesus, I don't know if you're going to be able to see him. Yeah. So, so in terms of like the physical space, that's really all there is to say. I'm very pleased with it. Other things to talk about, I guess that the next major thing would be my schedule. So it's kind of interesting because you apply to college, and obviously it's going to be different where you're from, but you know, I grew up in a family where everybody had attended, really nice universities and, carried through to the master's level. They would have gotten doctorates, but the subjects that they were studying weren't really conducive to doctorate material. So you work so hard to get into your university. I'm not gonna give the name of my university, but it's really hard to get into. All I'll say is that it's one of, if not the best public university in the United States of America. And so it's just so much pressure. I mean, I worked my entire life to get to this point, studying and making myself as multifaceted as possible, being open, doing overtime, just devoting my entire life to learning and studying. And so you finally get in, and it's like there's this big rush, and then you realize that's by no means, the end of the process. I mean, not even talking about the fact that now that you're in university, you have to go to university and spend 4 years there, and more than likely then go on to do probably a 2 or 3 year master's degree program, and maybe even if you're going into the medical fields, continue on and do understudies and internships, and it's a long trek, but yeah, it was just weird because all of a sudden, like, all that stress was back, because then it's like, okay, I'm at a university with almost 20,000 people, and everyone needs classes, so it's like you suddenly realize, oh wait, there's a chance that I might not get what I want, which I know sounds really like selfish or naive or whatever, but when you've worked so hard all your life to get into a university, and suddenly you realize that just because you got in doesn't inherently mean that you will get to take what you want to take, which might have been the reason for your choosing that university above others, it's kind of a slap in the face. I personally haven't had too much of an issue with it, mostly because the things I'm interested in aren't the most popular, I guess, fields of study. But in any event, yeah. So, but in terms of my schedule, I've gotten exactly what I wanted, pretty much. For this entire semester, I never have to be at class before 11. That's the earliest class I have. And then Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, my whole day, so to speak, is 11 until just after 1. It's like 1:10, 1:05. And then I'm done. And so every day I make sure I do a lot of exercise, because for a long time I've been really bad about that. Just exercising in general, I've kind of stagnated a lot on. When I was younger, I was really active. Excuse me, I did a lot of like long distance endurance biking. I was on the swim team. I practiced pretty much every sport there was at one point or another. But I eventually discovered that my passion was music, not sports. Um, so I've been practicing the drums for about 6 or 7 years now, and obviously that's a very active sport. But you still need something else, something that every day you can sit down and just wear yourself out. Move until you are sweating and your heart is palpitating and you feel alive. Um, so, but yeah, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays, my first class is at 11:15, and then my day goes until 4:45, but I'm not working the whole time. I think I have another class at two something. I know that it ends at 3:30, and then the next one starts at 3:45, and ends at 4:45. Um, so, but yeah, it's a really nice schedule. I'm very fortunate. I was able to bring a great deal of credit through AP to my university, which meant that I was afforded a lot more liberty um, in the classes that I needed to take, because it knocked out a ton of stuff that I would have had to take otherwise. So, um, that and the fact that I'm very, very passionate about certain things, and know that even if I don't know I'm going to major in this thing, I have a very select few things that I'm very passionate about and know that I'm going to study. Um, and additionally, that those things aren't the most popular subjects to study, has given me incredible freedom in this first semester to take pretty much exactly what I want to take. And in terms of the timing, I didn't plan that; it just happened that way, and I feel very fortunate for that. I realize that won't always be the case, um, but it certainly is nice. What else to talk about? The university as a whole, really nice, beautiful university. It's been really hot, uh, but I mean it's summer, so and it's not in fucking Manitoba, so it's pretty hot and humid. Um, yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna turn down this music. I had the radio on because it was actually playing something besides Drek for once in a blue moon, and then of course that program ended, I guess. But in any event, so yeah, and where it's situated, it's just very nice. Not too big. It's not a major city. But it's not small. There's definitely a lot going on. It has a lot of very contemporary facets to it. There's a lot of kind of hip stuff going on. There are a lot of nooks and crannies, music venues, art is a big feature of this area, and yeah, so it's a very, very just pleasant place to be attending school. Um, yeah, so first impressions, very good. Recommendations would be keep up with the frickin' deadlines. Because once you get into your university, I don't care what university it is, if it's Harvard or Lynchburg College in Virginia, you are going to hit so many deadlines. And the thing is, at least for me, I was like, yeah, I was still celebrating, like, yeah, I got in. And all of a sudden, they start slapping you with these deadlines, and if you're not ready, you're going to trip. And you can't, because if you miss some of these deadlines, it really can screw you over during your first year and even beyond. So keep up with the headlines. That celebrating is great, you should, but just make sure that the shit you need to take care of is taken care of, because it's really easy. At this point in time, everything's online, so besides maybe some of the financial stuff, so just take care of that, and be open. Say hi to as many people as you can. I have had so many amazing interactions, even in my first, week or so, from following that practice. So, yeah, that's what I would recommend. And, have fun. I know that's so overplayed, but have fun and try new things, because and people will say this to you so many times over, you're going to want to slap them. You are in a very special point in your life. It will never be this easy, this available, this close, this whatever again. You're in such an amazing spot. Everything is within your fingers' reach. So yeah, and never lose passion. Passions can change. That is fine. Your passion may change 8 times in the first week, but be passionate. Because if you're passionate, then I promise you that regardless of where you end up, you'll be glad you're there. And that's the important thing, because your university might have a big price tag, and you really want to get the most out of your time there. So, yeah. That's what I have to say. Yeah. So, everyone have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good second lunch, first breakfast, third dinner, wherever you are in your day. Peace. I love you, and goodbye.